Search for a killer in South Florida after an up-and-coming rapper is shot dead. 20-year-old XXXTentacion killed in an apparent robbery.
Me and XXX was really close. XXX is walking around with $50,000 in a duffel bag. No security. Tries to buy a bike, gets killed. He writes me June 16th, be safe, okay? Don't let your guard down. Next day he dies. Every comment was, where was his security? Pop Smoke, murdered in LA. Where was his security? 6ix9ine has security. He's pussy.
20 seconds. That's all it took. 20 seconds to rob and shoot a 20-year-old sitting in his BMW. And 5 years later, every single man responsible got exactly what they deserved. But the way this whole thing unraveled, the surveillance footage, the Google search after the murder, the social media flexing hours later, the snitch who flipped, the courtroom kiss, the judge who went off, this story is layers on layers. Let's break all of it down. Jossa Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, XXXTentacion, was born January 23, 1998 in Plantation, Florida. Raised in Lauderhill, he navigated poverty, family instability, the foster care system, and that darkness and sensitivity-shaped music that hit different. Sad. Jocelyn Flores. His debut album dropped March 2018 and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Top of the world at 20 years old. His controversies, the domestic abuse allegations, the court cases, are documented and real and deserve acknowledgement. We're not here to paint a perfect picture. We're here to talk about justice, because nobody deserves to get shot dead in a parking lot. And the men who did it thought they were going to walk free. They were wrong. By summer 2018, X had just withdrawn $50,000 cash from the bank. That detail becomes critical. June 18, 2018, Deerfield Beach, Florida. X pulls up to Riva Motorsports, an upscale motorcycle and watercraft dealership in Broward County, in his BMW. He's with a relative. Regular afternoon. But while X is inside, 4 men are pulling up in an SUV outside. Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, Dedrick Williams, and Robert Allen. ZMF gang members from South Florida who had been out looking to rob people that specific day. And here's the detail that changes everything. According to Robert Allen's later testimony, these 4 didn't even know X was going to be there. They had stopped at Riva to buy robbery masks for a different lick they were already planning, and then they spotted Onfroy, a kid with a known $50, zero withdrawal, walking to his car. They made a decision on the spot. At approximately 4 p.m., X walks out toward his BMW, and Newsom had masks on. They approached him. Surveillance cameras inside and outside Riva caught everything. What those cameras showed was a 45-second confrontation that ended with Michael Boatwright firing multiple shots through the driver's side window. The Louis Vuitton bag, $50,000 in cash, was grabbed. The 4 men jumped back in the SUV and sped away. Jossa Onfroy was rushed to Broward Health North. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. He was 20 years old. His son, Gekyume, had not yet been born. His mother, Cleopatra Bernard, got the phone call no mother should ever receive. 4 men thought they had pulled off the perfect crime. They had no idea what was coming. 2 days. That's how long it took for the first arrest. June 20th, 2018. Dedrick Williams was picked up. Investigators had been pulling surveillance footage, cross-referencing vehicle descriptions, tracking paper trails. Williams was already on probation, a detail that would matter at sentencing. On July 5th, less than 3 weeks after the murder, Michael Boatwright got arrested on unrelated drug charges. While he was sitting in a cell, detectives walked in with a murder warrant. But what really sealed Boatwright's fate was his phone. Investigators found that right after the murder, Boatwright had Googled the terms accessory to murder and he was trying to figure out how much trouble he was in. That search history became evidence in the courtroom. August 7th, Trayvon Newsom was picked up. That left Robert Allen watching all 3 of his boys get arrested one by one. And Allen made a calculation. On August 12th, 2022, 4 years after the murder, Allen entered a plea deal, guilty to robbery with a firearm and second-degree murder in exchange for testifying against Boatwright, Newsom, and Williams. What Allen gave prosecutors was everything. He described exactly how they ended up at Riva. He named Boatwright as the shooter, Newsom as the one who grabbed the bag, Williams as the getaway driver. He even told the court that Boatwright had been reassuring him after the murder that Allen could only be charged as an accessory, which is why Boatwright had been Googling it in the first place. But the prosecution didn't even need to rely on Allen alone. They had the murder on video. They had cell phone location data placing all 4 suspects near Riva. And they had something almost impossible to believe, social media videos of Boatwright, Newsom, and Williams filmed hours after the murder, flashing fistfuls of $100 bills on camera. These men handed the prosecution the entire case themselves. February 7, 2023. Nearly 5 years after Jossa was murdered, the trial of Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, and Dedrick Williams finally began in Broward County. Lead prosecutor Pascal Akil laid it out clearly. This was a robbery turned murder. The crew had gone out that day to rob people. They saw an opportunity and they took it. The surveillance footage from Riva was played for the jury. Cell phone data was presented. The social media videos of them flexing stolen cash were shown in court, and Robert Allen took the stand and testified for days. The defense tried everything. Dedrick Williams' attorney even attempted to bring Drake into the case, citing an old deleted social media post from X. Himself. The judge shut that down immediately. It was a Hail Mary from a team with no real play. The prosecution never floated the Drake theory because there was nothing credible behind it. Both sides rested March 3rd. Closing arguments wrapped March 8th. The jury deliberated for 8 days. 8 days that had everyone on edge, people online speculating about a hung jury. X's fans were anxious. The family sat in that courtroom every single day. March 20th, 2023, day 8. The jury came back. Guilty, guilty, guilty. All 3 defendants, Boatwright, Newsom, and Williams, convicted on all counts. First-degree murder, armed robbery, everything. And as those verdicts were read aloud, Michael Boatwright, the man prosecutors identified as the trigger man, turned toward X's family and blew them a kiss. A kiss. While his guilty verdict was being read to the courtroom. That single act said more about who he was than anything else in that trial. X's family had held it together through an entire month of testimony and evidence, and this man blew them a kiss. His times to smirk was almost up. XXXTentacion 2023. Sentencing day. X's manager Solomon Sobande addressed the 3 convicted men directly. He told them the family had sat through that entire trial without seeing a single moment of remorse. Not one. He told them, "You didn't just kill a son, you killed a father." X's great-aunt gave a statement on behalf of herself, and X's grandmother, who had suffered a stroke and could not physically be there on the day. Justice was finally served. Then Judge Michael Usan took over, and Judge Usan did not hold back. He addressed Boatwright specifically, told him that by pulling that trigger, he didn't end one life. He ended 5 lives, including his own. He told Boatwright to picture his prison cell. That cell is his furniture now. Every hour, every day, every week, every year. And one day they'll come open it and find him gone. Only then will he have served his sentence. The sentences: Michael Boatwright, 2 consecutive life sentences without possibility of parole plus 30 additional consecutive years for probation violations at the time of the murder. He will never see the outside of a prison. Trayvon Newsom, life without parole. Dedrick Williams, life without parole. 6 weeks later, Allen was sentenced. Judge Usan acknowledged that unlike the other 3, Allen had shown genuine remorse, had provided critical testimony, and had given authorities information that cracked an unrelated cold case murder connected to ZMF. Allen received 7 years with credit for the 4 years, 9 months, and 21 days already served. Roughly 2 more years behind bars, then 20 years of probation. X's family said through his aunt that they were content with the sentence. Allen himself told the court that if he had to die in prison, so be it. He knew the risk and he wanted to do the right thing. Then in October 2024, from inside a Florida prison cell serving consecutive life sentences, Boatwright illegally accessed Instagram and posted about the murder. His words, "I'm not sorry for nothing I did," after the verdict, after the judge's speech. After everything, that post confirmed what X's family had said at sentencing: there was never any remorse. What he showed in that courtroom when he blew that kiss was not a lapse in judgment. It was his actual character. Gekyum Onfroy was born January 26, 2019, 7 months after his father was murdered. He will grow up knowing his father through music and interviews and documentaries. He will grow up knowing 4 men answered for what they did in that parking lot. His mother, Genesis Sanchez, said after the verdict that after 5 long years, Jossa could finally rest in peace. And it's her job to make sure Gekyume knows who his father was. Justice moved slow, but it moved all the way. Drop a comment. Do you think justice was fully served? And should Allen have gotten more time for his role? Rest easy, X.